Welcome everyone to our community-focused series, NHL in Depth. My name is Clappy and I'm the NHL 22 Community Manager. The goal of this series is to provide you with a full look at each of your favorite modes and areas of the game. We will be talking extensively through numerous areas of the game and be joined by various members of our development team to best explain what's new. We've collected your feedback throughout the year, and it was a major factor in our thinking and design for NHL 22, so I'd like to thank you for your continued support and feedback. Please keep it coming. Here's when you can expect more information on the following areas, so make sure you stay tuned to our YouTube, Twitch, and other social channels to stay best informed on NHL 22. We will also have an update around the closed technical test, so stay tuned to hear more about that. With all that said, welcome to NHL 22 In Depth for the World of Chel. I'm now joined by Ariel, who is our World of Chel associate producer.
Hello, Clappy. Yes, I'm the World of Chel associate producer, and I have been for the last 8 years.
Thanks for taking the time to sit down and do this. Let's start by talking about the revamped World of Chel hub, because there's a lot to unpack with this. Visually, it looks quite different. What was the inspiration for this look?
Well, what World of Chel means to us is that it's our own world of hockey. It's a place where hockey is first when people engage and love their sport. And what we wanted to do this year was to bring that feeling, that festive feeling, into an actual place, an event that happens in the World of Chel. So what we're doing this year is we brought that environment that we had in previous year and we landed in an actual place that represent all these feelings and ideas that we have for World of Chel. And we think it's a wonderful tool to immerse players. This environment will reflect on the state of the season, what's going on at the World of Chel at that given moment. And it also reflects your progression with your club, since when you are participating in ESHL club games, your environment changes to your own arena. So as you progress, as you grow as a club, as a brand, you get that environment to reflect that growth as well.
Let's talk screen flow. The previous UI caused you to have to do a lot of button clicking to get to your destination. Can you speak to the changes to the overall mode navigation and how now it's a lot easier?
Yeah, sure. One of our pillars this year was non-linear navigation of the screens. So World of Chel is a massive mode. It's full of features, but those features require screens, right? The way we were setting that up in previous years, it was a little bit cumbersome, how you would navigate from one mode to the other, or how would you get your friends to join you. So the pillar this year was non-linear. How can we make that flow to be non-linear? So what we did is, right now, you start the game, and you can select the mode like immediately, but you can also tab away and see other flows of the mode. So let's say you're looking at your club options and you want to see your stats. You can very quickly jump to that part of the flow and see all the information that you care about. This is also supported during the dressing room. So you pick a mode, you enter the dressing room, and as you're waiting for your friends, you decide to customize or to change your loadouts or even check your rewards and opening them. And that without ever leaving the dressing room. This is a game changer for us in terms of how we really open up the whole mode, and we no longer lock it into screens that require going back and forth.
Can you talk about some of the new functionality when it comes up to partying with your friends, and how now you won't have to back out of the dressing room just to re-enter another one when switching modes?
Sure, we're very excited about this feature. Now we support what we call the social widget. And the social widget allows you to invite all your friends without even having to choose a mode to play in. They will join your session and you can still use all the screens and flows in World of Chel. But once all your friends have joined you, you can choose a mode and the friends will come with you into the dressing room. So they no longer have to wait for you to choose a dressing room, send all the invites, join the session to be with you. You can get them to join your experience as soon as you boot up World of Chel. And it's not just that. We also added functionality So once you have your team set up in a mode and you want to change, let's say you start playing a 3s eliminator game as you're waiting for the rest of your team. Then the rest of your team join in and you can migrate your whole party to a different mode. So let's say your goalie joins, now you can move to 3v3. And that's completely seamless. No one has to leave the party, no one has to back out. You press a button, you choose a mode, and everybody goes with you.
That sounds like a huge improvement. And, not having to back out of the dressing room and just re-enter to play a specific mode, now just being able to navigate through one user is a huge benefit to everyone that I think we'll all appreciate. So once I'm in someone's party, do I now have the freedom to navigate to other areas while remaining in the group?
For sure. The entire world of Chel is open. Even if you're in a dressing room in someone else's party, you can access your customization, you can change your loadouts, check your rewards, or check your stats. We no longer limit what you can do in World of Chel once you are in a dressing room.
Let's move to the main edition this year, and the thing I'm most excited to talk about. Our fans have been asking for an increased level of customization when it comes to their skater and just more overall freedom with their attributes and how they play on the ice. I'm happy to report that your voice has been heard loud and clear and was the main inspiration for this feature coming to life. Now Ariel, can you give the fans a full run through of the revamped loadout system?
Let me start with a shout out to James Capaduca, who is our lead game designer for World of Chel. He's a huge advocate for giving players the freedom to be creative. So he came up with the system that will allow them to really express themselves on the ice. All the classes that our players love are coming back, but this time they have an edge, and that edge is the X Factor Zone abilities. The new X Factor Zone abilities will have a huge impact on how the class plays on the ice. And as players level up, they will have up to 5 different abilities to choose from. And we're talking about abilities that really drive the fantasy of the class they are playing. For example, the sniper can have 1T and be exceptional in power and accuracy when doing one-timers. That completely changes the way you strategize on the ice and what you bring to the club and the team you're playing with.
So you're going to have to experiment with each class to get a feel of how each X Factor will affect your play on the ice.
That's exactly what we want. We want our players to try other classes and try their zone abilities to see if they fall in love with them. Because now that playmaker can be further customized to the player liking. So this really opens up the options they have. It's no longer just 12 classes. It's 12 classes that have like really impactful decisions inside that can really change the way they play on the ice.
So tell us a bit about the superstar abilities and what those are bringing to the table.
Superstar abilities are also very impactful on the ice, but a little less so than zone abilities. The cool thing about superstar abilities is that they are not limited by class. We have lots of superstar abilities for our players to choose. What's cool about superstar abilities is that they definitely bring an edge on the ice, but they can be used by all classes. So they are not limited by your class. So let's say you want a defensive defenseman, but you want to have a shooting edge. You can use superstar abilities to achieve that. This completely opens up the customization for the classes because now you can really tune what you want your character to do on the ice and to excel in. Superstar abilities are unlocked by leveling up, but in order to equip them, you have to use the attribute customization system and meet a rating criteria.
Can you tell us more about that attribute customization system? That's one of the largest requests we get every year, is the ability to customize attributes to your liking after you select your initial class.
Sure, this is one of the most critical systems in our new loadout feature. This system will give players the freedom to tune and modify their ratings while keeping the game balanced on the ice. And that was a critical design pillar for us. We want to get our players to be expressive, we want them to be creative, but we also want to keep the game balanced. And we also want to keep the classes to still feel meaningful and differentiate them on the ice. So what we did is we separated the ratings into different categories. Those categories are what we call attributes, You have technique, power, playstyle, tenacity, and tactics. And this system will allow players to move up to 5 points from one rating to another. Each rating has a specific cost assigned to them. So let's say a player wants to increase body checking, which is a really useful skill on the ice. They might have to sacrifice other ratings, and the other ratings they sacrifice might not have the same amount of points associated to them. So for example, offensive awareness would require sacrificing 3 points in order to accommodate 2 points in body checking. This is done to keep the balance in the game, and also to provide players with smart and fun ways to customize their character. If all the amazing ratings in our game are very easy to increase, then everybody would do that, and we would lose all the different combinations possible. Now players will actually have to make conscious decisions of how they want to play on the ice. We want our players to really understand their decisions. So what we added this year is a description of what the rating does. So now there are no secrets for our players. Our players can come in, tune their class to their liking, modifying the ratings, and getting exactly what they are looking for on the ice.
This is really good stuff and exactly what players have been asking for. What if I want to increase a specific attribute more than just +5? Because you know everyone's going to immediately see how high they can get their speed. So is there a way to, add on to that +5 that you can edit in your attributes alone?
Players can still modify their more physical attributes by changing their height and weight. But on top of that, we added boosts. Boosts are flat increases to a rating of the player liking. There are no negative effects tied to them, but players will have to meet a rating threshold. For example, slapshot timing gives you slapshot accuracy, but requires your hand-eye to be over 80. This allows the boost to give that extra edge to the character, while at the same time remain balanced in the overall system. All zone abilities, superstar abilities, and boosts are locked through our level progression system. So as you play, you level up, and you are going to get more and more things to play with. But we're also going to be releasing some special superstar abilities and boosts throughout the seasons. So each season will have new things for you to play on to shake up the meta and hopefully get even more creativity out of our community.
Level progression has been a big ask from people, so I'm glad that's getting implemented, and it's going to be interesting to see how these new superstar abilities and boosts potentially change up the meta season to season when they're added.
Yeah, players will see their playstyle evolve as they level up, and on top of that, we will be dropping more superstar abilities and boosts during the season. So each season will have the opportunity for them to shake up their strategies and come up with a new meta.
So it's safe to say that players will have more control over their skater than ever before.
This was the #1 thing in our minds. We want to give tools to our players to really customize how they play on the ice, because we want World of Chel to be that inviting place in which players can be themselves. And that's expressing themselves through customization, but that's also how they play on the ice, how they get known for their achievements on the ice. And how can you feel proud about that when you don't feel yourself? So we think that these systems are going to allow them to really break the classes into something that feels unique and personal to them. I think it's important to mention that World of Chel is still the same very inviting mode that it was in the past. You can compete on the ice even being level 1, because we have all the systems available to our players, but we remain balanced on the ice. So as a level 1, you can face a level 50 and you will have the same chances of winning than them, because the system is always balanced for everybody to have a great experience.
We also worked with some creators to give them early access to create their own custom builds. Let's see what they came up with.
For my build this year, I'm going with the Playmaker class at 5'7", 170 pounds. I'm right-handed, so I made my player a right-handed player as well. I chose Third Eye as my zone ability because it gives me a large increase to pass assist with exceptional ability to auto saucer passes out of a player's field of vision. And I chose that because I like to make passes that the opponents don't typically see, where my body may not be in the best position, but I still want to be able to get the passes to my opponents so they can score a goal. For my superstar ability, I chose Tape to Tape, and the reason being is because it's going to give me advanced power and accuracy on auto saucer and backhand passes within my vision. I want to use that again to kind of hammer down on getting accurate passes to my teammates, so that way they can bury for me and I can load up the apples. For my second superstar ability, I'm going with Elite Edges. This is going to give me advanced maneuverability with the ability to turn tight corners while retaining high speed. I want to do this year because I like to take quick cuts to the offensive zone, and that'll give me that extra edge to get past the defenseman and put the puck in the back of the net. For my boost, I chose controlled passing so I can have even more accurate passes, as well as offensive timing to increase my hand-eye, so that way I'll have a little bit more accuracy on one-timers, be able to handle tough passes from my opponents, as well as deflect pucks in front. Going through my technique attributes, I decided to take 2 away from my wrist shot accuracy because I still want to keep it, high, but not too high, so I kept it at 80. My slap shot accuracy, I dropped to 77, so I took away 5 points there, and I increased my speed by 5, and as well as my balance by 2, and I also took away 5 agility. Again, the reason behind that is because I am playing as a smaller build. An 83 agility player for me is still going to work for my likings. For my power attributes, I decided to take 5 off of my wrist shot power and 5 off my slap shot power to then increase my acceleration by 5 and my puck control by 4. To do this, I also had to decrease my endurance by 5. Reason being, I don't shoot the puck a whole lot, and I wanted to make sure I could keep my speed up, be able to get on quick breakaways at my teammates' feet, and that way I can put the puck in the back of the net. For my playstyle attributes, I was able to get my passing up to 99 with an increase in boosts and as well as the attributes individually. I unfortunately had to take away 5 to my offensive awareness, up to 7 on my body checking due to my height and weight, and then 3 on my stick checking to then be able to put +4 to my defensive awareness. I'm doing this because I still want to be a strength in the offensive zone, but I don't want to be too bad in the defensive zone where it's going to be a liability for my team. For my tenacity attributes, I decided to boost my hand-eye very high, up to +7 with my boosts included, in order to be able to deflect pucks, pick up passes from my teammates, and again, have a better accuracy for one-timers. To do so, I did have to take a little bit off my strength and a little bit off my durability and a lot of my shot blocking, because for me, whenever I shot block, I typically myself get in the way of the lane, so I don't think I'm going to rely too much on the animation to get that block. For my tactics attributes, taking at 83 was perfect for me. I decided to boost my faceoffs up +5 to 90 to make sure that I have the highest faceoff rating against my opponents. To do so, I had to move my discipline down to 79 and my fighting skill down 7, which to me, I don't fight, so that's okay. I was willing to reduce those points, that way I could put it more so on my faceoffs. This is the build I'm going to be rocking with in NHL 22. Try it out, let me know what you think, and have fun on the ice this year.
In NHL 22, my goalie build is all about speed and reaction time. I build my goalie to take up as much of the net that I can, as well as being as athletic as possible so I can keep up with the play and get myself in the right positions needed to make saves. I start off with the hybrid class. Hybrid goalies get a boost to their overall athleticism. Speed, agility, vision, and shot recovery are all attributes I value as a human goalie in the SHL. I set my height to 6'5". I want my goalie to take up as much net as possible so opposing skaters have trouble seeing open holes, and it gives my goalie some extra reach on shots to my extremities. While this penalizes my 5-fall attribute, I'd much rather rely on my reaction time with the manual butterfly to drop down than the game using an auto animation and speeding that up for me. Being tall also increases your vision. This lets my goalie see around screens and react better to deflections, which are constant in games of 6v6. Next, I set my weight to 190 pounds. This is the lightest I can possibly go without penalizing my speed and agility attributes. Again, I want my build to be as fast as possible, so the lighter the better. I don't bother going to 180 pounds this year, as my rebound control is penalized the lighter I get. Sticking at 190 pounds is the most efficient weight for all of my attributes. New to NHL 22 are the zone and superstar abilities. Just like skaters, us goalies get to choose from a variety of X factors to help improve our games under certain conditions. Hybrid zone abilities will be different than stand-up and butterfly. And while I personally like the stand-up and butterfly zone abilities a bit better, I understand the need for balance with the hybrid build. I choose to use the butterfly effect zone ability to increase my recovery and ability to make saves while moving with or against momentum in the butterfly position. When opponents take the puck behind the net, I do my best to drop to butterfly and get near the post without actually using hug post. This gives me finer control over my movements around the posts, So when a pass goes out front or someone attempts a quick wraparound on me, my X Factor boosts my ability to make saves while sliding over to stop a play. For my superstar abilities, I'll be using Tip Jar and No Timer. I hate getting scored on by deflections, so I use Tip Jar in combination with my 93 overall vision to give myself the best possible chance to save deflections coming from the point. The No Timer superstar ability increases my save ability and reaction time when facing one-timers. One-timers are a popular choice for the top teams in ESHL, and I want to use my goalie's speed combined with the No Timer ability to give me all the help I can get when a team pulls off a clean play. For my boosts and attribute adjustments, I add the Agility V1 and Speed V2 boost to my goalie. For my low attributes, I subtract from my 5-hole and add 1 point to both glove low and stick low to bring them up to 90. As I stated earlier, I prefer to rely on manual butterflying when I need to, so I set my 5-hole down to 81. And this allows for improved low save animations on my glove and stick side, which I don't have as much control over. For my hands, I subtract from passing and bring it down to 84. A goalie's passing is pretty moot in the SHL. I focus on stopping the puck, not creating offense, so I add 1 point to glove and stick high to bring them up to 90. For quickness, I lower my poke check down to 85. It's something I rarely use when I play, so I add 1 to speed and 2 to agility. Speed determines your speed moving inside or outside the crease. I want to be able to put my goalie exactly where I need to, as quick as I can. Agility determines my quickness in making saves, the most important aspect of playing goalie, as well as my acceleration moving around the crease. These are the 2 attributes I value the most when playing goalie. For positioning, I subtract points from rebound control and breakaway and add them into vision, bringing vision up to 93 and recover up to 94. Vision limits the screen effect on my goalie, which is a constant in games of 6s. Recover determines how quickly you can be ready to make the next save, which is something I find very important for saving rebounds and chaining together multiple saves in a row. This is what I use and what gives me confidence and allows me to be at my best, but it will be different for everyone. Please experiment with all the fun new abilities and custom builds an NHL 22 has to offer and find what works for you.
Let's build a forechecking winger. We're going to start with a grinder build, 6'2", 185. We sacrifice 1 speed to go from 5'10 all the way up to 6'2". Extra reach with our stick. I think that's a good trade-off. With our zone ability, we're going to use No Contest, which should help us pick up loose pucks. For our superstar, we're going to use Yoink and Magnetic. Yoink should help us if we don't get the loose puck, stick lift someone quickly in the corner, and then get out of there as fast as we can. Magnetic should help us if we use our speed to get a breakaway and our teammate hits us with a pass. We don't want to be dropping those. Our main offensive strength is really just our athleticism. So we want to focus on making sure we can use that to the best of our ability, and that superstar ability can help us do that. For our boost, we're using durable skating and steady strides, which help with speed and excel, as you might imagine. Our athleticism is what we're focusing on. For our attributes, technique, we are sacrificing wrist shot and slap shot accuracy fully -5 to get +5 speed, +3 balance, and then we also have to sacrifice 3 agility along the way. The balance is important because it lets us get the steady strides active, which helps us get the extra +2 to acceleration. For power, we're going to sacrifice both shots fully -5 each to get +5 acceleration. We're not touching the other 2 attributes because both are important, and sacrificing one for the other doesn't feel right. For play style, we are sacrificing our awareness mostly, -3 to offensive awareness, -5 to defensive, to get +1 passing, +5 body checking, +2 stick checking. We want to be on the front foot, so defensive awareness isn't as important. We want to be on top of people rather than waiting for interceptions. So if we're forechecking them, we're probably not going to intercept the puck anyway. What we're going to do is poke it off of them, hit them before they can get the pass off, or just interrupt it with a defensive skill stick rather than waiting for the animation. Then for offensive awareness, I would rather have it a little bit higher, but unfortunately you can't get everything super high, so you have to sacrifice 3 points, and that's okay. For tenacity, we are sacrificing 2 hand-eye to get 4 strength to get it up to 80. We're getting 1 durability, which helps us get the durable skating boost to get +2 speed, which is obviously awesome. And then shot blocking -5, because I think out of these attributes, because durability you need for a boost, this is the least important. Then for tactics, +5 to deking. Everything else, unless you're a center, doesn't matter too much. So sacrifice all that, get your +5 deking. And for me, I have -4 faceoffs, -3 discipline, -5 fighting skill, because you have to use the point somewhere. So faceoffs and discipline get a little bit of love. And that's it.
Thanks for that, guys. It'll be exciting to see what kind of builds everyone comes up with once they get their hands on the game. Shifting back to our conversation, we've talked about the revamped UI and the party system making playing with your friends and just overall mode navigation a whole lot easier. We went over the new reimagined loadouts and the increased customization players now have for their skater. What other changes have you made across the mode?
Sure, Clappy. We are adjusting a few things and adding a few small features that I think are going to increase the quality of life of our players. We heard feedback over the season finals being too long, so we are shortening that window. We also changed the color of the ice since we received feedback that for some players it was kind of hard to see the puck on the ice. We are adding a new matchmaking setting for clubs to control the team size difference. Clubs will now be able to match the exact amount of players they have on their lobby at the time, or up to a 4 players difference. This is important because we want to give our clubs the freedom to control the type of game they might get once they go into matchmaking. And for all the players that participate in private leagues, we added a small quality of life feature, which is the possibility of restricting the skipping of the cutscenes. And this is great for streaming games, right? Our players are very excited as they are playing the game and they want to skip the replays, but that makes for a poor experience when watching the game. So we added the possibility of controlling it.
There you have it, everything new in the world of Chel. I want to take this moment to also announce that the NHL 22 closed technical test will go live tomorrow on August 30th, and it will be centered around the world of Chel. So you'll have the opportunity to jump in and play as soon as tomorrow if you registered. But even if you missed registration, stay tuned to our social channels as we will be giving out some codes throughout the week. Thanks again to Ariel and the entire team for everything they implemented this year. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of our in-depth series. I think this turned out to be a great way to showcase the mode, and while I don't want to spoil the content in our upcoming videos, you'll definitely want to make sure you tune in. I'll see you in September where we'll be talking everything gameplay. See you then.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.